listen to Izzy Presley? Ooh, not if he was the last disc jockey on earth, honey.
So you're bored, are you? I've come here to break your monotony. Let me have my piece, because I'm shooting with this one, folks. I don't care, man.
The unscripted, uncensored, loose cannon of commentary.
Why did you say that? Why? Why? You come out with stink like that? Poop. Your poop mouth. Poop out of your mouth.
See, son? Old legends never die. They just lose weight.
Like a legend and an out-of-work bum look a lot alike, Daddy.
I've got a midget friend, an albino friend, and another friend who thinks Lord of the Rings is real. Together we call ourselves the Unfuckables.
Quinton is in. Let the fun begin.
Body touch.
You guys are an asshole, man.
Hello, Las Vegas. Hello, world. Hello, my loyal minions. It is good to see you, and it's always good to be seen. I am Izzy Presley, and this is another effing podcast. I'm the host of the program. Welcome back. It's good to see you. It's been about a month. Right after we got back from the On the Blue cruise, I had Chris Hockey from the KFAN Howard Trip morning show on. He was in town, a good friend from way back home in Minneapolis. And that was fun, but we've been on a little break trying to get shit in order, trying to get shit rolling here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, as I always do. It is good to see you, and it's always good to be seen. Make sure you share the show with your friends. Tell everybody about it. Even if I am gone for a little bit, then all of a sudden, boom, I triumphantly return. Well, here I am. We ain't going anywhere. We got some shows lined up. Coming up next week will be Ted Russell Camp. Of course, you know him as the bass player in the Smokin' Kills, and he is also the bass player for Shooter Jennings and has been for many, many years. But Ted has a brand new album out. Yes, he does, and it is called California. And he's a good friend. I should hope so, because I'm in a band with the guy. So he will be on the show talking about his brand new album and all that other good stuff and getting Ted's story. He's a very interesting cat. He is the I like to call him my own purveyor of positivity. He always puts a smile on your face. I love Ted. You guys are going to love Ted too. And then coming up the following week, my good friend Keith Roth from Sirius XM, Hair Nation, and Ozzy's Boneyard, and the band The Dictators. And he's got so much great stuff going on. He is going to be joining me, co-hosting, as Bryn Ahrens from Flip is coming on the show, along with the guy that wrote the Flip book, which is called Thanks for Having Us. And his name is, where is his name? Why am I drawing a blank on this? Oh, John Mikulski. And so they will be on, and well, Keith is a Flip fan of about a year. I introduced him to my second favorite band of all time, Flip, and he is now on board. He loves Flip, and so he's going to co-host the show. We're going to talk about here. Let me show you the book. Right here. This is the book. So you got a week to order it. Thanks for having us, Flip. And it's basically the story, John's story about Flip, as far as I could tell. Oh shit, I forgot to do this at the top of the show. In the words of my close personal friend, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Crack one for the working man. Cheers. But also, before we get rolling, and I do have a guest today, and this was recorded in early April. It was before I went on the Blue Cruise. But we'll get to that one second. Will Turpin from Collective Soul, talking about their brand new record. But end of April, got the news. A friend of ours from back home, Leanna Lang Davis, she left us unexpectedly. So, cheers, kid. Rest well. And just a quick reminder, if you can tell that somebody is reaching out for help, there's signs. And pay attention. That's all I'm going to say about that. So that is what's going on. Hey, you like the show, share the show, tell your friends. And if you really like the show, feel free to hit up that Cash App at Real Izzy Presley, or that's $ Izzy Presley. Venmo, Real Izzy Presley. PayPal, izzypresley@yahoo.com. I take all that shit. Hey, I'm here for you. I'm here to entertain you. If you like what I do, feel free to chime in. Because I don't know, maybe I'll do Patreon. Should I do Patreon? Should I do a special Patreon show? Would you guys sign up for that? I don't know. Would you? I don't know. I have delusions of grandeur, I guess. But the brand new Collective Soul album is out this week. And it is called From Here to Eternity. It is a double album, which is gatefold, whole 9 yards. And we were joking about, it's so funny, we were joking during the interview about 8 tracks, and I didn't even realize they put out 8 tracks for their last album. And you can still order them. And they are starting a tour at the end of the month in Dallas on May 30th, going out with Hootie and the Blowfish and Edwin McCain and special guest Bare Naked Ladies on a few shows. They're doing some headlining shows. They are out from May 30th until September 28th. And of course, I realized during the interview that I had just missed them in Vegas. I didn't even realize they were in Vegas because there's so much shit going on in Vegas. Sometimes you don't even know a big show is happening like that. But I do know a show that's happening. I know a couple shows that are happening. This Thursday, if you were in Las Vegas, this Thursday, the 17th, is it the 16th or the 17th? So today's the 13th, Tuesday's the 14th, Wednesday, the 16th. At Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, Adam Carolla is back in town doing 2 shows, 7:30 and 9:30. So if you're in town, check that out. Or on May 30th. I think he's back on May 30th again. 2 shows, Adam Carolla at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, right here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And Saturday, the 25th, ladies and gentlemen, let me take these stupid glasses off. Saturday, the 25th. That's right. At a tribute to Ace Frehley. We are returning to Counts Vamped. We have Todd Howarth from Fraley's Comet, from 707, from Cheap Trick, from Uncle Ted, from Peter Frampton joining us for the show. So it is act featuring Todd Howarth. That is at Counts Vamped. We are opening up. We are the special guest of LVDC, the Sin City's exclusive AC/DC tribute. They are badass. And their guitar player, Keith Robert War, is a member of the Ack family and will be playing with us as well. He's doing double duty that night. He is great. He is fun. We got Mike Campion returning on bass, who is, of course, from Gene's Addiction, and also welcoming to the family on the drums, Troy Patrick Farrell. As I always say about Ack, I don't have a band, I have a Rolodex. And proud to have all these guys in the Rolodex. Who's available? We got a gig. Boom. We make it happen. That's right. And of course, you can see behind me, right over here. Oh, there she is. Oh, no, not Dolly. Grocery store girl is in the house. That's right. And I think she was here for hockey. Yeah, he was here for Chris Hockey. She was here for Chris Hockey. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome, or please enjoy, I should say, because this isn't live, and it's so weird not doing it live, but whatever. We're doing it, rolling. The interview was done at the beginning of April, but but it's done. It's ready for you. It's ready to go. Please welcome to another effing podcast from Collective Soul, the bass player and background vocalist, Mr. Will Turpin. All right. Are you a Kiss fan at all?
I am. I'm a fan of just their whole thing, and I like a few of the songs. Uh, I was into like more artsy stuff when I was younger. I was into Beatles and stuff. It's like to me, I was like I learned my first guitar chords, and I felt like after that, I kind of knew every Kiss song, and I was like,
Well, it's funny because I mean, Kiss. I mean, I'm just gonna start it right there. Why not?
yeah, man.
Um, Kiss, like they wanted to be heavy metal Beatles. That's even though the heavy metal wasn't a term at that at that time, but that's how
Right.
Gene always described it, and you can hear it a lot in their first three records.
Yeah, and man, there's a couple songs I think are really good, but yeah, I wasn't a huge fan. But a couple of my friends were fans, so I got to see a lot of the stuff that was going on. But um, I was in the '80s. It was what was considered alternative, right?
Right.
NXS, U2, REM, all those bands.
Well,
Were
that
cool.
REM makes sense, being you're a Georgia guy.
Yeah, we were. REM was a big deal to any of the Georgia musicians because they uh, they had a worldwide like modern sound, and as much as I appreciate the Southern rock sound, it was really refreshing to have the Athens, Georgia scene and have this whole movement come out of Athens, Georgia that wasn't Southern rock.
And if you are wondering, I have Will Turpin from Collective Soul here right now. We started early. Why not? Fuck it. You start talking about Kiss. It just goes. The brand new record comes out this Friday. It is called Here to Eternity. It is a double record. You guys, double record in this day and age. It's a little odd because you think about it. I mean, because right now it's all single, 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 single. Maybe we'll put out an album, see what happens. What was the thinking behind the double record?
Honestly, we just always wanted to do a double record. We some of our heroes all did double records. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road's the one that certainly comes to mind. But All Things Must Pass, the White Album, um, what was it, the Led Zeppelin Physical Graffiti.
Yep.
We just thought it was always really cool to be able to have a double album. And man, Ed's writing is prolific as always, and we still enjoy creating music. So we had no shortage of songs and no shortage of creative juices. Man, we were just going at it, and yeah, no matter what everybody tells us about what's smart or not smart, we still just do what we want to do.
Well, and I tell you what, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say I'm a huge Collective Soul guy where I know everything. I mean, I was like everybody in 1995. We played Shine, in
Right.
my cover band, But listening to the record, it sounds like Collective Soul, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we don't ever sound like anybody else. I think that's one of our strengths, but we just create from feel, and if it feels good to us, and we get those moments where sends chills up your spine, then we know that we're doing something right. We just have we have a thing, man. Ed's vocal stands out.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, like I said, man, 30 years later, we're still enjoying creating, we're still enjoying playing live.
Well, and when you guys started, it was what, 92 when you joined the band, correct? Or
Yeah,
when the band
it
started? Yeah.
probably would have been 93 when I committed fully and told them I would play bass. My friends were uh, all those guys were 100% committed to the rock and roll thing, and I was a music major in college, and I was like, yeah, I might have a recital, so I can't commit 100%. But at some point, I was like, man, if I play bass, chemistry wise, we'll be the strongest we could be. And then I committed 100%, and it turned out to be a good move for me because
Right.
Ed, and Dean still live on a bus together and still create music together. So
Well, in 93, that was still a weird time in rock and roll because it was post the Great Wall of Nirvana. So it was like it was the grunge thing, but it was just kind of wide open. You didn't know what was going to stick and what was going to hit.
Yeah, I mean, again, man, it just happened for us, and we created. That first record, half of it was intended just to be a songwriter demo that Ed was doing. So
Mhm.
it was a collection of songs written by Ed, and we kind of thought that the rock song off that record would be the one that we would push as the single song called "Good Night, Good Guy." But fate had other ideas, and Steve Robertson, Album '88 was the first college station to play Shine, and requests going off the phone ringing off the hook, and requests happening left and right. And then Steve Robertson at WJRR in Orlando was the first one to put us on a kind of shootout type show on Sunday nights where he could go off script, off of the corporate playlist, and he could play whatever he wanted.
Mhm.
And sure enough, man, he put us on that Sunday night show with Shine, and we were winning battles against the Pearl Jams and the other ones. And so that was really the spark. That commercial station was really the spark that started that movement there.
Well, and the thing that I kind of dig about your sound is that it didn't sound like that the Great Wall of Nirvana and all that the other quote unquote grunge stuff. It's still it was, I mean, it was all rock, but it still had a different vibe to it, you know.
Um, we've never went in there into the creation process and said let's follow this or let's try to be like this. And even if we did, I think we would still just revert to whatever feels natural to us and whatever we feel comfortable with.
I love the fact that you said you're still on the bus. Because a lot of
We
people
still live
aren't
on a
doing that
bus
anymore.
together.
A lot of the bands that the quote unquote the legacy bands, they're just doing fly dates and just doing weekends. You guys are out there, and you leave on the 30th. You go out with Hootie and Edwin McCain, and it's a big stack tour for the summer.
It is kind of like I mean, wow. I mean, let's think about this. Hootie, Collective Soul, Edwin McCain, all three groups from the South, all three signed to Atlantic Records in Manhattan, and all
Wow.
three first released our first record in 1994. It's a little bit of a, and we've known each other now. We've all known each other, and we're all good friends for 30 years. So it's going to be a great tour. It's going to be a nice little trip around the states one more time with our friends, man. We're looking forward to it.
And I mean, you think about the amount of records that were sold between the three of you, especially Hootie, because I think they're diamond, aren't they?
Yeah, that first record, Cracked Review. Yeah, I mean, it sold 10 million in its day. So
Yeah.
uh, I don't know. Who knows where that's at now?
Yeah. But yeah, it's so you knew those guys back in the day?
Of course, we were signed to the same
Yeah.
label from.
Well, I know, but like before you guys got signed.
No, we didn't know. No, we didn't know them before we got signed. They would have been in Carolina. They were more on the frat
Oh,
scene.
okay. Okay.
Yep. And we were in Atlanta. We were playing live shows, but we were really doing as much in the studio as we were live. Really, my father's studio was there, so we were as much of a studio band when we were young as we were
Mhm.
going out playing, trying to come up with a live scene. We were equally trying to stay in the studio and play. We basically just played around Atlanta.
So you mentioned your dad's studio, which you own now. Real to Real Studios, real-life.net is the website. Make sure you guys check that out. But that must have been a nice luxury of having a father who owned a studio.
Yeah, and it was a DIY studio, but it was on the level. I mean, he got that Trident board straight from Oxford, England, in 1985, and so it was on the level. It was pro, but it was DIY. But man, certainly, man, Collective Soul. There, that's where we cut our teeth. Ed was head
Yeah.
engineer there. That's where I learned all the studio acumen, and we came out of the box wanting to create songs and create music and serve the songs as opposed to just I know. I think some bands are just playing live and trying to create music as good as they can, and then they go to the studio and they're not maybe comfortable in the studio, and we obviously were birthed in the studio, so we've always been comfortable there.
Are as far as the studio goes, I mean, are you guys um how do you feel about Pro Tools and making stuff too perfect that you can't a lot of bands, they go in the studio and they just, nail something, with a lot of help, and they go out live, they can't reproduce it. How are you guys about that?
Yeah, I mean, uh, it's just recording software. The it still has to be natural. It still has to come from this place of organic feel and vibe. Pro Tools won't get that for you. You have to be a band.
Right,
Um, and yeah, I mean, we've just always looked at anything that you can use in the studio as a tool,
right,
that we get to use as a creative tool. You can't think about it like, oh, I'm gonna put it in there. It's gonna fix everything. That's not the way you do it.
right. And so I'm assuming you guys are 100% live. There's no tracks going on.
When we play live,
Yeah.
yeah, Johnny, the way we came up with that, so we could get some of the sounds and some of the things that are on the record that we don't do live. The way we kind of found a hybrid answer for that, and me and Johnny, me and Ryan Hoyle kind of started that, doing that, but me and Johnny Rabb, our current drummer, really honed in what the system is. We actually have samples of the stuff, but he's triggering them live, so
Mhm.
we are not chained to a track. There is no Pro Tool system backstage for us, right? Where
Right.
so many bands are hitting play and
Yeah.
playing along with it. Nah, man. So if something happens to his little trigger pad, we still don't care, man. We go. We're a rock band.
Dude, that's great to hear. I mean, because like you said, a lot of bands are doing it. It's like all the background vocals are tracked, and it's like some of the lead. I mean, fuck, I saw Wasp. You could tell he was singing to a track. It's like, come on, man, fucking do this. And it's great to hear that somebody's still out there doing it real. You
Nah,
know,
that just wouldn't be right for us. And I don't think you, I don't, I think we've always taken pride in being a great live band, but I don't think people are asking you to sound like the record either.
right?
I think they want you to get close to what they love, do
Yeah.
your thing. But for us to think we want to play along to some tracks and try to make it sound almost exactly like a record, I think that's just missing the point to me.
Well, I think that takes away from the live experience. Rock and roll is not supposed to be perfect. You
No,
know, and
it's
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 like
perfectly imperfect.
exactly. I mean, fuck. I mean, like one of my favorite shows of all time. I mean, I wasn't at it, but I saw it on the MTV. GNR live at the Ritz. They're fucked up. They're out of tune, but it was magic. You know what
Magic,
I
man.
mean?
It can be magic. Absolutely. That's the only way to get magic. Yeah, it's not magic when you're playing along to something. I mean, it's just
Right?
not.
No, exactly. Do you speaking of the MTV? I mean, everybody talks about the first time they heard themselves on the radio. Do you remember where you were the first time you saw yourself on MTV?
Actually, I don't. Now that you mention it, I remember. I mean, Sean was on the Buzzbin and it was on MTV all the time. But I don't remember where I was the first time I saw that video. Huh. I remember where I was the first time I heard the song on commercial radio. We were all in a van together, heading down to Florida to play a show because that commercial station, like I said, JRR had added it on rotation, and we heard it. We heard it on commercial radio. And we're like, whoa! All right, this is cool. This is cool.
Did you guys ever? I mean, like the Here to Eternity, which comes out this Friday on the 17th. That's your 12th record. Did you guys ever take a break? Did you guys ever say "fuck it, we're done" and then come back to? Because like I said, I don't know a lot about the history of the band. Did you guys ever break up and then come back together, or have you guys been going the whole time?
There was certainly some. There was certainly like around right before the youth record. There was a few years there that were a little bit of shaky ground. That's when we had some members of the band uh, not be in our band anymore. Let's just say that.
Oh yeah, it's rock and roll. It happens.
And then there was an era where we all were working on some side projects, but after that, after the youth record, it's pretty much been like, yeah, okay, we're gonna keep doing this. There's no reason not to do it.
Mhm.
It still feels completely natural to us. I mean, you mentioned Here to Eternity. Creating and coming up with these songs is still as fresh and still as inspirational, and it's still something we crave and thrive on
Mhm.
still today. So and we have no problem finding the songs and the inspiration to do it. So man, we're not going to. It's just part of us, man. We're 50% live, we're 50% in the studio, and
Mhm.
I don't think that'll ever change.
Dude, that's great to hear. And like like I said before, it's how it sounds like a collective soul record. A lot of bands, like around 2000, especially after that Great Wall of Nirvana hit, they tried to change,
Mhm.
and sound like what's relevant now. And it sounds like you guys just stuck with what you guys do.
Yeah, I mean, we just like I said, I don't know if it was confidence or what, but we just always thought if you do what's natural and it feels good, we never chased any sound. We just never did. We never even talked about it.
Mhm.
We just did our own thing.
How did the success affect you guys?
Um, I don't know. I don't know. You get to afford a nice lifestyle, I guess.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
uh, I think it just made us want to do. All we, especially in the early days, all we talked about was what's next. We never looked back and said, "Wow, we did it." We
Mhm.
never ever did that, and
Yeah,
still to this day, we just always talk about what's next.
that dude, that's great. And because the reason I ask that is because you know how sometimes like you're a band, you're brothers, and all of a sudden the success happens, and that's when the cracks start, and that's when the egos happen, and yada yada yada. So you guys didn't have to deal with that at all.
Yeah, and I think I tell this a lot, man. I think that the fact that we literally to say it's a small town story is an understatement. I mean, me and the Rolling Brothers, we don't have a memory without knowing each other.
Hmm.
We know each other our whole lives, so I think that is a different perspective than guys who came together in their adult life and created a band and you know what I mean. I think it's different because our parents knew each other, our parents supported us. It's something that just we're family.
And you have a solo record that came out in what 2018?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Serengeti Drivers. Did I say that
yeah,
correct?
man. Serengeti, like the
Serengeti. Ah, Serengeti.
like where the
Sorry, I closed down the Tropicana closed last night for good, and I was there when it closed down, and I stumbled home. So I'm just
Are
still
you in
trying to.
Vegas?
I'm in Vegas, baby.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Talk about your solo record a little bit.
No, I mean, I started off on piano and drums,
Mhm.
and learned guitar around 13. But man, when I sit behind the piano, there's a funky, poppy side of me that comes out. And you sit there and you create these songs, and sometimes you wonder if people want to hear them. But I'm proud of that record. I'm working on collecting, getting together the next list of songs for the record, for a new record. So yeah, I love getting in there and doing something different too.
Do you do everything yourself?
No, I love getting in other musicians to help out, other creators, other artists. But yeah, on that record, I play all kind of instruments. Sure.
Dude, that's like one of my gods is Richie Kotzen, and that's what he does. He records everything himself, and he goes out and plays as a trio. Because obviously you can't do it all yourself live unless you're using tracks, and Kotzen is not a tracks guy. I can tell you that much. When you guys write, are you guys get in the studio and jam and see what happens, or is it more like people bring shit in?
Yeah, I mean, in 30 years, we've kind of done it a number of different ways. But
Right.
man, it starts with Ed. Ed's a super prolific writer, and he's gotten more focused with his ideas over the years too. So he comes in with some pretty structured songs now, and then
Mhm.
we put a twist on it and make a collective soul song. In the day, we used to do a lot more jam. Let's stumble upon something.
Right.
But we still will do that. And you know, when we create, it has to start and has to be a band. It has to have a vibe of a band. We don't just send in parts and do
Mhm.
this here and fly this here. We have to get together and make and get that little energy you get when you play together and you find that zone and ride it.
Mhm. Well, I love that because I like there are a lot of bands now. It's like, no, we put together a record, we just sent in the parts. It's like, where's the magic? You know, and
Yeah.
I don't think you can really get the magic without being in the same room together.
I think you can create some good music. Of course, you can create some hits that way too that people love. But in general, if you're going to try to be a band, you you need to get that chemistry and that energy working in the same room and
Mhm.
find it. There's it's more than just putting your finger on a fret and hitting it in time. It's more than that.
Right.
And if you work it out and you find those magic moments, then you can elevate the song and you serve the song and hopefully the song becomes bigger than any of the individual parts.
And you guys have a show in San Antonio this upcoming Monday. That would be the 20th. And then the tour starts on the 30th in Dallas. Collective Soul, Edwin McCain, and of course, Hootie and the Blowfish. Do you have another interview coming up right
I'm
after this?
done.
You're done?
You're my last guy today, man.
All right. Well, I hope it ended all right. I'm really bummed though, because you guys are not coming to Vegas.
How are we not coming to Vegas? What's up, man?
I don't know. I'm looking at the list and it's like, okay, California, of course, Utah, Arizona, California, no
We were
Vegas.
just at the Palms, man. You missed us. We were there in
Ah,
January.
that's
Uh,
right. That's right. That's right. And of course, that was before I knew this was happening. And I, but now next time you're back, you're goddamn right. I'm going to be there.
we love that room, and I hear rumor of us doing 2 nights in a row there at that room at the Palms, either
Nice.
late this year or early next year. So come see us, man.
I will absolutely do that. Will Turpin, thank you so much, Collective Soul. Check them out on tour this summer if they're coming to your area. And of course, the album comes out this Friday. It's called Here to Eternity. And it's so it is physical and streaming. Is there vinyl? Is it just CD?
Of course, there's going to be vinyl. It's a
And
double
it's
record. You
that's
got to
right.
have some vinyl.
And it's not gonna be like 14 records. It's like, you know, a lot of like they reissue a lot of the old records. It's like, dude, I don't want 4 records. I just want the one record like it's supposed to be.
Yeah. No,
Are
it's
you
2 records, 5 on each side every time. So
perfect? Perfect. You guys
yeah.
doing cassette too?
8 tracks as well.
No, cassettes are coming back. I've bought new cassettes.
I understand where you're going with this. I know what you mean. Uh, Vinyl has a reason to come back. I'm not sure about this whole cassette thing, but whatever, man. We'll go with it.
Well, let me ask you this before we go. Somebody that's on the recording side of it. Back in the day, everything was mixed for vinyl, and that's
Mhm,
why it always sounded so much better. Is how
mhm.
different is that today? I got the new Black Crowes record on
Yeah.
CD, and then I traded in a bunch of my old CDs and that I didn't need anymore, and I got the vinyl and I A B'd it, and it sounded pretty much the same. Um, how
It's
does
more of
how different is it that now?
I don't think it's really the mix, but you should definitely master the mix differently for vinyl. Um,
Okay.
and we do that. So our vinyl is mastered a little differently, just so all the frequencies are popping properly.
All right. And if people want to pre-order the record, or they can just
Probably
go
our
buy it this
website, or
Friday.
go any of our socials and website, you'll be able to find it, man.
All right, collectivesoul.com. And of course, check out real-life.net is the studios. I
Yeah.
Googled the studio and I found one in Australia that has real-to-real-studios.com.
Yeah, Reel to Reel Studios usually pops up if you just Google it, but it's the one in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, check it out, man. It's my legacy. It's where Collective Soul came from, and I've poured a lot of energy in there, and I'm producing a lot of people right now out of the studio. So
That's great. That's great. When did you take it over?
I took it over officially about a year ago. My father passed away about 4 years ago.
I'm
I
sorry.
walked in that place and I was like, there's just no way I'm letting it go, man. It's designed to be a studio from the ground up, and there was nothing in me that thought I should let it go. And so my dad had a partner, and then as of last year, I'm officially 100% owner now.
Dude, that's great to hear, man. Keep that legacy alive. Will Turpin, everybody. All right. There you go, kids. Fun little 20-minute or so, half an hour or so interview with Will Turpin from Collective Soul. Check out the brand new album, comes out this Friday, the 17th of May. And the tour starts on the 30th. And please also make sure you check out Beater. BeaterAmplification.com, baby. That's 2 E's, BeaterAmplification.com. Check out, oh God, Soda Stick, SOTA, for all your Minnesota sports themed needs. Gotta love the guys over at Soda Stick. 7th Avenue Pizza, why not? Hit those bad boys up. GHS strings, vintage USA guitars. And let me show you the headstock just so you can get an idea. See the headstock there? See how that says vintage? Yeah, vintage USA guitars. They are badass. Rockstar Leatherworks. Dude, check them all out. You see all the links. Monsters of Rock Cruise. If you are new, if you're a newbie to the Monsters of Rock Cruise and want to come on, that's right. You can start buying cabins for the newbies on the 15th, which is tomorrow. It means the 13th, which means it's the 14th by the time this gets up. So it'll be tomorrow on the 15th. You can actually go to monstersofrockcruise.com, or if you're more in the prog world, hit up cruisefortheend.com. Lucky enough to be a host on that every single year. Doing hosting duties and hosting karaoke with my good friend DJ Beef himself, Brian Ott, and his wife Erica, who helps out immensely, and honored to be a part of those cruises, and of course the other big cruises as well. And what else do we got? Of course, we have next weekend, the 25th, ACK, tribute to Ace Frehley, my band. We will be at MAMP, my favorite rock and roll bar, opening up for LDDC, Sin City's biggest, baddest ECDC tribute. And then probably working for Corolla. Not working for Corolla, but helping out, doing the thing I do. So we'll see you guys next time. And don't forget, tell your friends, subscribe, and if you wanna help out, $ Izzy Presley on the Cash App, Real Izzy Presley on the Venmo, and izzypresley@yahoo.com on your PayPal. We'll see you guys next week with the immortal, the one and only, the great Ted Wilson.